Ever clicked on a website and kind of wondered where it's actually coming from in the world? Like geographically?
Yeah, or maybe you thought about how the internet seems to know roughly where you are.
Right. So today we're doing a deep dive into IP address location lookup. We'll cover how it works, what it can tell you, and of course the big thing, the limitations and privacy implications.
Exactly. We've got a lot of interesting info lined up from various sources. Articles that break down IP geolocation, discussions on accuracy, and articles highlighting those privacy concerns.
Absolutely. So our goal is to walk you through IP address geolocation, how it's used, its accuracy, or sometimes the lack thereof, and how to, use this knowledge responsibly.
Basically, we want you to feel confident knowing what this is all about without getting bogged down.
Okay, so let's start with the very basics. How does knowing an IP address even give you a general location?
So it's all about these massive databases that map out ranges of IP addresses to different geographic regions.
Kind of like a digital map, right?
Right. Certain internet address blocks are, well, they're linked to certain areas.
So who puts this data together?
It's mainly the internet service providers, or ISPs, like, the company you pay for your home internet. They assign these IP addresses, and they're the ones feeding info into those databases.
But this doesn't mean it's showing exactly where your computer or your phone are at this very moment.
No, not at all. It's more of an estimate based on where that IP address is registered.
And it's not always, perfectly up to date or down to the exact building.
You got it.
So, with all that said, why would anyone bother with this? What's the point of knowing a general location from an IP address?
Well, there are actually quite a few uses. Think about websites and online services. This helps them show you the right language,
Right.
or make sure the content is relevant to your region.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Plus, it's a big deal in cybersecurity,
Yeah.
like detecting potentially sketchy activity. Like if someone's trying to log into your account from a country you've never been to,
That's a red flag.
big time. And businesses use it too to understand their website visitors better. They can get a sense of where their audience is coming from, which helps with marketing and all that.
So there are actually some very practical applications.
Definitely. And sometimes, yeah, people just use it out of curiosity. Like,
Mm.
oh, I wonder where this website servers are actually located.
Hmm. Okay, let's say I'm curious about that. How would I go about finding and we're talking approximate, location of an IP address?
The easiest way is to just do a quick search online, search for IP address lookup tools, and you'll see a bunch of free options.
So many choices.
Yeah. A good tip is to look for tools with websites that are simple,
Hmm.
not cluttered, and that don't ask for tons of your personal info just to do a basic lookup.
Well, yeah, just keep it simple.
Exactly. Some popular reputable free tools include iplication.io, whatismyipaddress.com, and NordVPN IP lookup.
Those are good starting points. But even with these free tools, it's good to remember that what you're getting are still approximations, right?
Right, exactly. They might not be as precise or updated as often as some of those paid services,
Makes sense.
but for a general idea,
Yeah.
they're pretty helpful. And you'll likely get a city-level result or a broader region, not a specific address.
Not going to point you to someone's doorstep.
No, not that detailed.
So, what are some things that can make these location results, a bit less accurate? This is where it gets really interesting.
Oh yeah, a bunch of factors.
Yeah.
A big one is that the IP address might actually be tied to your ISP's server location, not where you actually are physically.
Okay.
And if you're using a VPN or a proxy service, it's going to show the location, the VPN server or proxy, not your actual location,
Snaky.
for sure. And ISPs often recycle IP addresses. So the address that your device has can change over time, meaning older location data associated with that IP might not be accurate anymore.
Ah, that's tricky.
It is. And on a mobile network, your IP is often associated with a cell tower or a regional hub. So that covers a much wider area.
And then there's just the quality and how often these geolocation databases are updated.
Yeah, that could vary between the different tools, so it's not a perfect system.
Definitely not. And this kind of brings us to the whole privacy issue, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. IP addresses are more and more seen as containing personal info under all those privacy regulations, like GDPR and CCPA.
Right. Makes sense.
Even knowing a general location can be a privacy concern. Plus, there's always that chance someone could link IP addresses with other data that's collected online. So looking up IPs, especially if it's someone else's, needs to be done very carefully and ethically.
Couldn't agree more. What about finding your own IP address? Or if you're trying to see where a specific website's server is located?
Well, to find your own IP, the easiest way is to search what is my IP address online? Google will tell you right away.
Simple as that.
Yep. For a website, if you happen to know its IP address, you can use those same lookup tools we talked about. But here's the thing. A website's server location might not be the same as the company's physical address. And a lot of websites these days use CDNs, or content delivery networks, which means their content is coming from servers all over the place.
Makes it a bit harder to pinpoint.
It does. So the big takeaway here is responsible use.
100%.
We got to avoid using this info in a way that could, impact someone's privacy or safety. And we got to be realistic about accuracy. Country-level accuracy is usually the highest, then region or state. City level is less reliable, especially outside of big metro areas.
And forget about getting a specific zip code or street address with IP geolocation.
That's usually not happening.
Definitely not as precise as something like GPS.
Totally different. GPS is super precise. Wi-Fi and cellular positioning can vary in accuracy, but IP geolocation, it's just a much broader, less exact location estimate.
So, to sum this all up, IP geolocation gives us a rough idea of where an internet connection is coming from. There are a lot of useful ways to use it, but we got to be aware of those limitations in accuracy, and we can't forget about the privacy aspect.
Exactly. It all comes down to being responsible and informed.
Yeah.
And it really makes you think, now that we've got a little peek into how location is estimated online, what other hidden processes are working behind the scenes every time we're on the web?
Right. So many layers of technology that we just don't even see when we're browsing a simple website. It's incredible.
It really is.